Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to talk about Raila Odinga and the 2027 presidential election in the Republic of Kenya. Let me begin by asking some 3 or 4 questions. The first question I wanted to ask is, what is Raila Odinga's game plan for 2027? I'm asking that question because based on my own analysis, Raila Odinga is up to something. I'm seeing a lot of activities in ODM party. Raila Odinga is meeting his former friends like Jimmy Wanjigi. Raila Odinga is everywhere. What is his game plan for 2027? The second question that I wanted to ask is whether Raila Odinga is laying the ground for 2027. Because we all know that Raila Odinga was a candidate in the last election. Will he be on the ballot again? The other day I saw Raila Odinga in Malindi, and he was accompanied by Joho and the current Mombasa governor Abdul Swamad Nasir and several other leaders. And according to them, Raila Odinga is their choice. I listened to John Mbadi the other day, and John Mbadi was also very clear that as far as ODM party is concerned, they are not discussing 2027 politics as at now. But should Raila Odinga decide to run, he is going to be their candidate. So is Raila Odinga laying the ground with all these activities we are seeing for 2027? And is it possible that Raila Odinga is the only candidate who can defeat William Ruto? Because I've been trying to advance the narrative of Kalonzo on this platform, for example. And every time I do that and I read comments, I normally see several individuals telling me that Raila Odinga is the only person who can defeat Ruto. Is it true? So that's the question. My third question is about his options. What are Raila Odinga's options for 2027? In my view, Raila Odinga has only 3 options. The first option for him is to support Azimio presidential candidate. That candidate might be him, might be Kalonzo, might be Martha Karua. But I'm observing something. Raila Odinga is trying to lean towards Kalonzo Musyoka. So which means in Azimio, if Raila Odinga were to choose, his choice is clearly Kalonzo Musyoka. So that is his first option. His second option is to run. In fact, I was of the opinion during the last election that Raila Odinga ought to have contested, Kalonzo Musyoka ought to have contested. That was one of the surest ways of locking William Ruto out of Ukambani and out of Azimio strongholds. In 2027, Raila Odinga can decide to run. Nothing can stop him. But one thing I know for sure is that there is a gentleman called Kalonzo Musyoka. He must be on the ballot, which means if Raila Odinga were to run, then Kalonzo Musyoka will also be on the ballot. Will it work in favor of Azimio or against Azimio? So that is his second option, to run. Raila Odinga's third option, which in my view is actually far-fetched, but in politics is about interest. Raila Odinga can decide to support Ruto. And maybe that's how you should look at the top job which I analyzed the other day, the Africa Union Commission chair, which was shared in one of the dailies. So Ruto can decide to support Raila for that post. Then Raila will say, for me, I'm retiring from Kenyan politics, but then support William Ruto. So that's another option. In your own view, what do you think is the best option for Raila Odinga in 2027? Let me read your answers below. I want to give you only 3 choices. Run for the presidency, support Kalonzo Musyoka, or support Ruto. Let me read your response in the comment section. But Raila Odinga is actually making certain bold moves for those who are keenly following the politics of this country. So in this video, I want to give you some 4 or 5 moves which I think Raila Odinga is already executing. Whether they are aimed at his bid or the larger Azimio is something which I can't tell as at now. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or 2, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. In my own opinion and what I've observed, Raila Odinga is already making the following bold move. The first move which Raila Odinga is making is revamping the ODM party. But the question is, why do you think Raila Odinga is revamping ODM party? Because already he has disbanded the National Elections Board. And a new board is being crafted, which is going to devolve nominations within ODM party. So for me, the idea behind that move is to try and attract more aspirants, especially from Azimio strongholds, because one of the biggest challenges ODM as a political party has always faced is nomination. The reason ODM does not have majority of members of parliament today is because of the botched nomination. So he has disbanded the National Elections Board. Raila Odinga is also embarking on a series of recruitment drives. He has conducted it in Nyanza. Yesterday, when his team met, the Central Management Committee met, they released a schedule of program for Western Kenya, where they're going to conduct series of recruitment exercises. So, why do you think Raila Odinga is recruiting more members into the party? The other thing which is clear in ODM is that Raila Odinga is now giving it more visibility. Previously, Raila Odinga used to kind of be more Azimio. He would put on more of blue. That's no longer the case. So for me, by doing that, Raila Odinga is trying to dim the light on Azimio. So the question is, why do you think Raila Odinga is revamping ODM party? I have only 2 theories for that. The first theory is that there's a possibility that Raila Odinga wants to run for the presidency in 2027. And if that were to happen, the easiest route for him would be to use ODM as a political party. That can explain why Joho also made that technical appearance. So that is the first reason why probably is revamping ODM. The other reason why he could be revamping ODM party is post 2027, which means he would want ODM to be strong, win more seats, then they'll qualify for the political parties funds, you will have more MPs, you will have more governors, and therefore ODM will still be very powerful even if Raila Odinga were to support someone else. And lastly, why is revamping ODM party, I think, is to strengthen his bargaining power in case of a coalition agreement. If, for example, we were to support Kalonzo, then ODM has to be very strong. So that's why he's revamping ODM party. For me, that's a very bold move because, you know, Raila Odinga contested under Azimio. You would have expected him to focus on Azimio. Number 2, the second bold move Raila Odinga is making is trying to craft a new coalition. In fact, in one of my videos the other day, I opined that one of the things Azimio needed to do was to bring more reform-minded individuals to their side, people like Ikuru Akwot. Raila Odinga met with Jimmy Wanjigi. That was not by coincidence. It was for a particular purpose. I won't be surprised to see Raila Odinga meeting with Ikuru Akwot, Raila Odinga meeting with someone else. So the idea is to craft a bigger coalition. My expectation today would be that Kalonzo Musyoka would be the one taking a lead role in doing all this if it were Azimio. But the fact that Raila Odinga is the one taking a lead role points to something. It means Raila is keen on bringing more people to the party. And why would he do that? Blackmail. You know, in Azimio, Kalonzo supported Raila, so is currently blackmailing ODM party that they must support him. So even if Raila were to support him, Raila must bring people. So these people who will be joining Azimio will be joining Azimio under Raila. So which means Raila Odinga's bargaining power will be high. And again, Raila Odinga could be bringing all these other people with the aim of crafting a winning formula. And for Raila Odinga to craft a winning formula, for me, the fact is he might not necessarily be the presidential candidate. He can be the presidential candidate, but not necessarily the presidential candidate. So that is going to carry the 2027 presidential election or campaign the way he carried the 2002. So that is another bold move which I'm seeing Raila Odinga taking. The third move I'm seeing Raila Odinga taking, which is also very, very important, is taking on Kenya Kwanza. You see, the demonstrations which Raila Odinga organized across the country were massive. You need heart of steel to execute them, because the current government is ruthless. Raila Odinga is currently taking the issue of taxation seriously. That is something which is so dear to William Ruto. You've seen the way they are trying to blackmail Okiya Mtata, but Raila Odinga is taking on Kenya Kwanza. Why do you think Raila Odinga is taking on Kenya Kwanza while most Kenyans are asking him, please Baba, keep quiet, please Baba, let Kenyans suffer? It means he has something up his sleeve. And the last move, which, if you ask me, Raila Odinga is also making, is the decision to declare his preferred gubernatorial candidate for Nairobi. The other day, Raila Odinga was very clear that he made a mistake by supporting Polycarp Igathe, that he ought to have stood with Tim Wanyonyi for Nairobi, and that if that had happened, probably things would have changed. Because if you look at the presidential election results of Nairobi, it's just happened like that, maybe because ODM did not have a presidential candidate. So which means the fact that Raila Odinga is endorsing Tim Wanyonyi, it means he's already made his mind that even if the presidential candidate is not going to be him, Nairobi must be ODM. Nairobi must be Tim Wanyonyi. So that's a bold move. Which means even Kalonzo Musyoka, if you are seeking for Raila Odinga support, Nairobi will not be negotiated. And why do you think he's doing that? The fact is, Nairobi is the epicenter of Kenyan politics. In fact, Raila Odinga is currently finding it easy in Nairobi just because Sakaja is beefing up with Gachagua. So Sakaja must depend on ODM side in the National Assembly, in the County Assembly of Nairobi. Otherwise, if there was no fallout between Sakaja and Rigathi in Nairobi, I can assure you, Raila Odinga would be finding it very difficult to play his politics in Nairobi, because a governor has that ability to frustrate anybody. I don't know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts. Do you support Raila Odinga's 2027 presidential bid? Or do you wish for him to support someone else, maybe Kalonzo Musyoka? Let me read your comments below. Bye-bye.